Okay, we want to illustrate the ergonomics of what we're going to refer to as the Calamus FLOW. It's the right-hand handpiece of the Calamus Dual. I alluded to a little bit earlier, I referenced to taking the Calamus cartridge tip and then taking a little bending device and rolling that in your hands and bending that tip. The reality of it is, during the heat of the battle, if you do not have this instrument handy and your assistant doesn't have it handy, I've simply found that I can bend that tip just about that evenly and that smoothly without using the little instrument. I've just used my hands and my gloves and simply roll it. Haven't had a problem with the heat. I was testing there and extruding just a little warm gutta percha out the end of the cartridge. I've placed a small aliquota gutta percha in the root canal system as I'm doing my backfill. And then my assistant can look through the microscope, understands what size plugger I need, hands me the next size Calamus hand plugger, and again, a la Schilder, placing a small aliquota gutta percha in the system, condensing it vertically, and then simultaneously she hands me back the Calamus FLOW. I'm placing another, I'm going to say 1 to 3 millimeters of gutta percha in the root canal system, immediately capturing that warm gutta percha so that I'm placing warm gutta percha against warm gutta percha, so that when I'm finished with the obturation, I can again experience the thrill of the fill and I don't have any voids in my root canal. The first one in the upper right-hand corner illustrates what I said earlier, and that is there's 3 size Calamus cartridges. One of the things that I really like about the Calamus is the fact that the gutta percha is contained in a cartridge. We're not loading a little pellet. The size tip that I use in almost all cases is the 23 gauge tip. This one seems to work the best for me. If we look at that next slide down, what I'm trying to illustrate there is in some of the old days and some of the instruments of the past, we needed to use a little pellet of gutta percha, which was fine. It got loaded into a certain obturation instrument, and it worked, and it worked well. However, I found that maintenance was a problem, cleaning the instrument was a problem, and sometimes that gutta percha got into various areas of the instrument, and so it required assistant time and down operatory time to clean and maintain that unit. Another thing that I really like about the Calamus, you can look and see exactly how much gutta percha is contained in your cartridge. You simply pick up the flow instrument, you take a look at the side window, and if you see the small little pink spot down in the lower right-hand side, that lets us see exactly where that flow indicator is. It lets us see exactly how much gutta percha is left in that cartridge. In the upper right there, the finger there is shown on that blue ring, and the Calamus FLOW handpiece is identical to the heat part of the pack part of the Calamus FLOW, meaning, part of the Calamus Dual, meaning that any place that you touch that ring 360 degrees around that handpiece, you're able to activate that plunger and move that gutta percha, warm gutta percha, once it's up to temperature, through your cartridge tip and extrude it into the root canal system. Just an illustration of what's happening here. These are kind of 3D animations of what's happening inside there. So you see the plunger moving down towards the end of the Calamus FLOW, and it's extruding that warm gutta percha out of the end of the Calamus cartridge.